what I suggest is you take your hands way further out in front rather than back here like this, because actually the further you lean back, the more that pressure point happens right at the sit bone. So you go forward this way, put weight in your hands, do as I do. You see I'm like in a tabletop position, and then you're gonna try to straighten your legs here so that you feel the stretch of the hamstrings and the calf muscles, but your weight is off of the feet and into the hands a little bit. Then lengthen the chest. Now, if you wanted to increase the stretch, you would anterior tilt. You'd stick your bum up to the sky. We can start there, push the heels out and lift the bum up to the sky. But then what we want to try to learn how to do is posterior tilt. Really, if I'm going to be very clear, it's not even the action of posterior tilt we're trying to do, it's the engagement of the hamstrings and the gluteus muscles, which are the muscles of posterior tilt. The difference is everybody posterior tilt your pelvis, tuck your tail all the way underneath. You'll see your low back rounds, okay? That's creating posterior tilt via the muscles of posterior tilt, right? Buttocks and hamstrings. Now go back more towards anterior tilt. The beautiful thing is you can choose the alignment of your joints. Currently, we're more anterior tilted, but you can activate the opposing muscle group. So you don't need to do posterior tilt to activate the muscles of posterior tilt, meaning you can activate whatever muscle you want, whatever your alignment is. So we're gonna try to learn today to be in anterior tilt, but then to like isometrically tuck the tail. I'm gonna suggest dorsiflex the feet, so you see how my feet are not on the ground, and I'm gonna move them just a little bit away so they're not directly underneath the knees. And then I'm gonna press down into the heels and then lift the pelvis up in a posterior tilted position. If we were doing back bends, I would probably have you do anterior tilt, because this is taking the back bend out of the equation and forcing the lift to come from the hamstrings and gluteus muscles. So you can try to feel right where your butt meets your hamstring, sometimes called the thut. The thigh butt, right where the hamstring and buttocks connect. You want to feel that contraction. And then press your pelvis a little higher, okay? So, and try not to use your arms. Kind of find a place where it's challenging. I think the arms alongside my thighs seems to be most challenging, because when the arms go up overhead, it kind of pulls everything with it. So I'm trying not to make it easy. And also, using your arms this way by pushing down is making it easier. So I'm just trying to put my arms in a place that is challenging. Press from the high hamstrings, low buttocks up to the sky. Now it's starting to get tired, and release. A little bit harder, feet further away. Okay, so try to make like a triangle with your thighs and shins now. Same idea. If you can do it without your arms, do so. So you're gonna press the heels down and drag back. So pressing the tailbone up to the sky. Again, hamstrings and gluteus muscles, lower glutes, high hamstrings contracted. Pressing down to activate posterior tilt the pelvis. So the pubic bone's towards your navel, tailbone is tucked, and you're digging down through the heels, dragging the heels towards the shoulders, and release. This time, if you need to, you can bring your foot in closer, but the whole objective, when you bring your foot in closer, you'll start to naturally activate your quads. The further out, the more you have to activate your hamstrings, because your feet will start to slide this way if you activate your quads, and it forces you to pull your heels towards your buttocks, keeping the hamstrings contracted, okay? If you need to, you bring your feet in a little closer, but let's try to keep them a little further away, and we're gonna keep the feet flexed. Let's start off all together, tuck the tail, lift up. Now, most of you are probably gonna keep your arms on the ground for balance. You're gonna try to dig down into your left inner heel, and when you do that, if you take the weight out of the right foot, your right pelvis will drop. Keep the right pelvis up high and lift the right knee. Don't let the right pelvis drop. Switch, push down through the right heel. Don't let the pelvis drop. Keep the left pelvis up as you lift the left knee. Bring the left heel down. Right pelvis up, lift the right knee. Right heel down, left pelvis up, lift the left knee. Shake it out for a second and then go both sides of the pelvis up, push down through your heels, and release. Today, we're gonna do it for the sake of activating the hamstrings. This is the Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana A variation or modification, however you wanna look at it. Your hands go underneath. We're gonna still activate the biceps the same way. Shoulders are gonna go up. We're gonna activate the biceps and pull up on the leg. However, as you press your hips back and you're gonna push down into your hands with your right leg, while that puts resistance for the biceps to get stronger, it's also engaging your high hamstring. So now you can stretch the right leg forward while pressing down into the hands. The pressing down into the hands is an activation of the right high hamstring, but you could also do a little micro tuck of the right sit bone without swaying your pelvis forward. Pelvis goes back, right sit bone tucks, press down into your hands. Pelvis back, right sit bone, thigh down into your hand is what I meant to say. And bend the knee to release.